Hey Paul, how are you? I hope your radiation went well. They microwaved or zapped all the correct pieces for you. And you can see it's a bit of a grey day, vastly different from yesterday. So yes, I hope you're feeling all right today. Like you said, I guess yeah, it's no chemo today, so it's just the radiation. So yeah, hopefully you'll yeah, you won't feel like shit. You just feel like a little bit of shit, I guess. So where am I? I hear you asking, what is he doing out here? Well, this is my little project. It's not my it is my project really. It's we're setting up a whole lot of mangroves. I'll show you here. Here they are, all these little mangrovey things. Now these little mangroves, these little things are called propagules, and they come from southern Japan, which is Ishigaki Island, way down south. And my idea was, because the inland sea has such the relationship between the land, which is all that bit up there obviously, and the ocean, which is all that bit out there, this little bit here, which is the foreshore, it's all been, well, I guess, how would you say this, 20 plus years ago Japan had a collective brain fart and decided to concrete everything. And so what they've done is they've screwed up the relationship between the landy bits and the sea bits, and have screwed all that up so that the cycle, or the ecosystem between the land and the sea, basically the foreshore, has got great big concrete walls around everywhere. And so the nutrients aren't running off into the inland sea, and they're starting to suffer now. It's very low vitality in the sea. They have to introduce fish stock here all the time, so people can fish. So yeah, there is a major problem. So I'm thinking, well, let me see here, what can we do? Now, mangroves aren't typically a place, this is not a mangrove place, they don't grow this far north, generally speaking. But with climate change and things warming and sea levels rising, the fishermen out here have already seen a change in the fish. There's a lot more tropical fish coming through, which they never saw before. So I'm thinking, right, let's see if we can give mangroves a go. So I found this guy for the International Mangrove Society, whose chairman happens to be in Japan and who lives down in Ishigaki, an island close to Tokyo, but it's Japan's island. His name is Baba Sensei, great name, eh? Baba-san. So I contacted him and he said, well, they're probably not going to grow, but you can give it a go. So he went and collected up 120 odd of these sort of little plants here, and sent them up. And a few months ago, the fishing guy and his family and we all got together and we spent a few hours planting all these in. On the hope that they will actually take root here, they'll grow, they'll provide some sort of a nursery, I guess, or a nursery crop area for young fish to come in and feel a little bit protected, and also to sort of maybe start the whole ecosystem going a bit. And we'll see what happens. So we'll put 100 down. I'll be happy if 10 survive, to be honest. The water temperature should be fine. It doesn't go below 14 degrees C in winter time here. Even though the air temperature is a bit colder, the sea's not the sea level state, it's about as cold as it gets. So I'm kind of hoping that they will survive here. The only issue we have is any wave action if there's a typhoon. But we've got a fairly protected spot in here. It's pretty good. So this is my little pet project. We hope it works. And the next big project after that really is to try and get them to remove some of these concrete walls that are literally everywhere. There's a concrete wall in the most unlikely places you'll find. Unfortunately, it's the Ministry of Ministry of Infrastructure and Land Transport owns all the concrete walls, and it's a bureaucracy, and the chance of them pulling something out that they've put in and would lose control over is about zero, but we can give it a go. So anyway, so this is my my little project, all these tiny little mangroves amongst all this rubbish. So yeah, so we just put them in. There was no leaves, they were just basically sticks that we stuck in the ground and staked well, and yeah, hope we grow. We sort of did the sandy stuff up there all the way down to the muddy stuff. High tide comes up to, you can kind of see over there that it yeah, comes up fairly high, so it covers these up by a good 1.5 meters at high tide. and they're still sprouting and growing. It's absolutely astounding what these things can keep up with. So yeah, so the fisherman that has agreed to sort of give this a go, he's a Fujita-san. He's a good fishing. He's also Tom, my son Tom. Well, you know Tom. It's his boss, which is kind of cool, and he's really into it. The only other thing that would stop mangroves growing here is that the Japan Sea is somewhat saltier than the ordinary sea. So the only other issue, rather than the cold temperature, would be that it's too salty here. But they are, yeah, they're doing all right. And this here is where he grows, or those sacks over there actually, where he grows shellfish. So these sacks have a particular, oh, let's point at me, eh? These sacks have a size of netting over them, just that size there, and you can see the size in there. There's the size of netting. Oh, here we go. That's the size of the netting there, I guess. Come on, focus camera. Yeah, you're good. So traditionally what happens is that the interaction between the land and the sea, the water runs off the land, it goes underground and it pops up here, and there's a sort of freshwater sort of system here that enabled all the shellfish to grow all around the coast here. It was absolutely stunning, the amount of shellfish that you just grow in the ground, and a bit like pippies in New Zealand, you just dig them out of the sand. All that's gone now, and the reason is because all the runoff from the ocean, from the land, all the fresh water has just disappeared. It's all got blocked by these concrete walls everywhere. This little area here is not too bad. You can sort of see the water coming out of the drains there, but it's fairly unusual here. So what he does is he puts these sacks down. The spats go in there into the soil. No, not into the soil, into the sand. Yes, and then they settle there and they grow. Now normally when they get bigger they'd move, but because of the size of the netting, of the holes in the net, it means that they can't move anymore. So they're stuck inside these little sacks. And then he just goes along and he picks these sacks up, and he gets, it's a lot of shellfish. It's those tiny little clammy things, or shellfish you see at the in the Japanese soups. Little things about this big, a little bit bigger. So yeah, he gets a lot of these. You can sort of see all the oh, around we go. All these little these are all little sacks of shellfish all through here. It's quite a neat way of farming actually. It's yeah, he's quite a he's a very clever guy, is Fujita-san. He's open-minded, really good thinking, and is prepared to give things a go, and also sees that there are problems and is actively looking for solutions. It's kind of cool. Right, I'm going to get back in here, and yeah, so what I'm doing today, he says, walking over here, what I'm doing today is, here we go. These things are starting, even this I didn't think this would grow, but it's even put a couple of leaves out. These things here are starting to get a bit tight. So I'm cutting these off and putting new cable ties just to stop them. It's the wave action back and forth that will ruin them until they've had a chance to put roots down, which I'm guessing will be several months away from now. So you can see what I've done there with their leaves sticking out. Really cool. Anyway, that was today's mission. Bloody hammered down with rain a few hours ago. At the end of this video, I actually caught a bit of this. I caught a great lightning strike coming down, which I'll put on there. It's only a second or two, but it looks pretty impressive. So yeah, I hope you're feeling better today. It was afternoon, I think you went in for radiation, wasn't it? So yeah, we'll talk to you later. But anyway, we'll yeah, just look after yourself. Take it easy. Not that you can do anything else. And yeah, we'll catch you later. Holy fuck, that was close to the boat.